Okay, this is a new Claude video. Basically, I'm running Visual Code, VS Code, and I'm running Claude IDE inside of it. So just now I asked Claude to create a directory, and I opened up this directory. So there's nothing in this directory right now. So let me tell it to do something. First of all, I'm trying to figure out what instance am I in here. So let's say what directory am I in? Let's just see. Okay, I'm in the MCP folder. So let's look at some of the commands I could do with Claude. What I want to do is first do an initialize and initialize this folder as a Claude project. It says wait until you add code to the project before creating. Create a minimal Claude stub now, and you can fill it in as the project grows. Okay. Okay, so let me see why this didn't happen automatically. Rewind, attach file, mention file for this project. Hooks, MP servers, manage plugins, batch, clear, contact, context. I don't know what this is. Which I want to find out a little bit more about that. So let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to say project instead of folder. Yeah, I'm going to allow that to write. So environment of variables, create an EMV placeholder comment, add your environment of variables here. Let's look. There's nothing there. Let's go back to Claude. Okay, create a folder for my different skills. So yes, I like that. There's nothing there. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Create a AWS Connect instance skill. You know, before I let me just see what happens here. Let me just create this. See what naming convention it uses. Okay, what format would you like this skill to be in? Kind of want it to be in Python. Let me go with this. because the markdown is going to produce Python code. So that's okay. So this is interesting because every time I do this, I get a different format. I could get commands and I get skills, and so right now this is my skills. This is going to okay, we won't get into this right now, but what I want is this. What did I do? It's a shame. Let me see what I can do now. Let's see. Create a new skill called okay, I'm going to call this AWS. Okay, create connect instance. Let's see if it writes it in the same folder. I don't know why it's reading this. In the full setup. Allow write to this. Okay, here's what it does when we trigger it. Gathers the config, creates the instance, creates operations queues, routing profile, claims number, summary, and saves everything into this file. Now what it's not doing is it's not creating live agents, it's not creating certain things. So I'm going to say add triggering of creating two agents, a sales agent and a tech Alright, I'm gonna make it a customer service agent, and technical support agent. I could have just went into the skill and modified it myself. I'm just going to yes this to death. Bottom line is I should be able to specify certain things, which, okay, so there's a couple of things just bother me a little bit. The environment file, the environment file, I want it to just be env. I want to use the proper environment, the variables to run the skill. So I want the skill to now, where's my skill? Why did it do that? It's not in any particular directory. Okay. Where am I don't want that to happen, right? I'm in documents MCP. Please move my skills into this folder. Now, in some sense, this skill could be at a high level, but I don't really want it. I want it to be in here. So it should understand this, but let me just try to be specific here because I want everything to be transparent. This skill what I want is this to happen. This didn't go under .Claude. Okay, so not too crazy about that. You notice it's telling me that Claude commands If it's not in there, I can't do a slash command. That's okay. I want to make sure these work before I try anything. So so now I'm going to do this. I'm going to say remove. Okay, write a permissions file that allows me to delete and write permission skills. So it's using this update config skill. And it's writing a settings file. Now that's at a global level. What confuses me a little bit is a little bit. I mean, what it's trying to do, I kind of wanted to do, but in my last couple of experiences, it didn't try to do this. So let's just see what happens here. So I could delete this. I don't know if I want to have the permissions file up at the top level. So please move my permissions file to my local, I'm going to say workspace. As far as I know, I did not. I did not create a global file yet. Now it's asking me to write my settings file. And I'm just going to yes this to death because what it's doing, it wrote the settings file. And it's allowing me to do certain things. Okay, now basically, now the question is, okay, I'm going to ask the question, should my skills folder be called commands or skills? So I kind of think I understand this right now, because if it's in a commands folder, it might take your natural language and just run a command. If it's in the skills folder, I might be able to use the /skill command. Okay, should my skills folder be called command? And I'm going to say and why. Okay, so it says it should be called commands if you want Claude Code to load them as /commands automatically. Claude Code only auto-discovers markdown files from two locations, this location at the high level and at the project level. The name skills has no special meaning in Claude Code. Files there are invisible to /command system unless plugin or market explicitly points to the directory. What you should do is rename this to this inside your workspace. move the skills to these skills. I'm going to say, please do this for me. Okay, so it wants to use the commands folder. And it says it's done. So there's a commands folder, and there's the settings. Remove the skill called AWS Connect instance. Now the thing you'll notice is usually I go up here and I'll just remove the file. Claude has got control of my system and is trying to keep things safe. So I'm just going to tell it to do this. See what happens. Remove this file. Okay, and I'm going to remove, because I didn't really ask for this, create website.md. Yeah. And it's going to ask me, okay, now. Okay, so now I'm going to have different commands here. So I'm going to create the Connect instance. I'm going to create an Agent Core instance. I'm going to do several things with Amazon Connect. But first, what I want is this thing here to work. So let's see what this thing looks like. Okay, so one thing I noticed is I don't have any environmental variables. So what is probably okay, so what I'll do is this. Okay, so I think I might have a file in a different repo, which I'm going to take a look at. So let me take a look at these files. Let me go into documents. Let me go into home let me go into home task client, and oh darn. And I have a environment file here. Now this is where you go in. This is when you start getting in a little trouble because you're replicating this file. I could have one at a high level project. I could have at a high level directory, but I'm not really quite ready for that. So let me see what happened here. Let me go over here and I'm in home task client. Let me just go back. First of all, let me copy this just in case I need it. Let me go back to where was I? Open folder. Am I still in? No, I'm in home task client. Okay, let me go back into this folder, which I called MCP. default NCP, open it. Okay, and I could do one of two things. I could just copy the env file, but let me see if Claude could do this. Copy the .env file from home task client into my .env file. Dun, 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 dun. See if I have to monitor too much stuff here. I'll just cut and paste it, but let me just see if this works. And like I said, it makes really, well, it makes some sense to put this up in my root directory, this environment variables, but I'm pointing to my production environment, and I want to be careful that I know of only one project right now which is touching my production, and I might change it. I might change it to my test environment. So let's just see. What I should do there. Although I'm in production, I'm pointing to the West region, so I don't think I have a connect instance there. But I don't want to be touching. Yeah, this is kind of doing too much work. Let me just copy and paste these things here. See, here's my microphone. I could talk to Claude and tell it to do what I want it to do, but I'm using my microphone, Yeti microphone, so that's not going to work for me. Now the question is, how do I stop this thing? It's going to okay, so I just cleared the conversation here, so why don't I do this? I have this now, and okay, I don't really have a URL or an app here, so let me just delete these. Let me see. Now, do I want to use prod? No, I do not. I have an Amazon Connect instance in prod, so I definitely don't want to do that. So let me just make this default. And what I'm going to do is what the heck, I could use the West region. Let's just make sure we're using the proper region here. So let's go to the console. Okay, this is my production account. And this 5237 is my no, 2457. Let me just see what kind of connect instance I have here. And this way we could verify that we've created it. So okay, let me just see. Uh, that's funny because let's just look for connect. So deliver. They renamed this thing, I guess. This is the place where the instances show up. I'm in the East region. I just want to see, what kind of instances I have here. No instances in the North, and no instances in the West, as far as I know. Okay, so we're going to use the West because my production instance is in the West. Okay, so what we could do is go back over here to our, I'm going to use the default profile, which is the Amazon account I was just looking at, the West. I'm going to leave this home task gateway I guess I want to see, this is called prod. I'm going to leave this like this until I use it. And the gateway URL, this is an instance name in prod. Let me just remove these. Okay, I'm going to have, let's see, Cognito. Let's leave the Cognito here. Client ID, client secret. This token URL looks like it'll work, but let's just clear this out just so we make sure we don't have issues here. As a matter of fact, let's clean this out so we don't use any of this stuff. I don't want my I want to connect instance. That's basically all I want. And to be quite honest with you, I want to generate some variables here that I'm going to use. So let's call this AWS connect instance ID, QID, contact flow ID, source phone number, destination. I'll just leave those there for now. And what I'm going to do, so the profile is default. Let me just make sure that the profile is default, and okay, so let's do this. The create instance has a region, profile, identity type, inbound calls, outbound calls, true, alias, instance, profile. Okay, so I want this to be true. Okay, let's look at this right now. Instance alias subdomain for this. Okay, claim a phone ID after setup. Okay, so now it's going to try to extract these values from the env file. So let's make sure Claude knows. Please create environment. Please, let's say this, please add to environment. Please add to environment the variables referenced in the skill. It's only one skill, so I don't have to worry about specifying. And ensure the skill looks for values in environment and also updates environment with new values when produced. Rough values in the environment and also updates environment with new values when produced by skill. Fix all. Now, there's a difference between me writing this right now, because we only do this once, right? It's going to go inside of the skill. So let's check the skill. You know, when we wind up with the instance, we could check it and stuff like that. There was something in the skill which says create the agents. So what else do I need? That colon number, I need a colon number. So I wanted to create the colon number. The colon number calls in and goes to an initial flow. I'm assuming it's going to create that flow by default. So let's make sure that the skill understands that instruction, that it needs to make sure that the phone number hits the flow that's the initial flow of the instance that I'm creating, which I'm pretty sure it's going to do that by default, but if it doesn't, I have to modify the skill. So let's see what happens here. What are these words? I mean, synthesizing makes sense, but some of these words are like, one thing about technology, everyone like changes terminology just so it seems new. Okay, I want you to update this, yes. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I don't know if I want a connect instance in bin file yet. Because I don't want to complicate things. A environment set helper is defined once called immediately after each resource is created. Writing the new ID back to the environment file, that's fine. So first let's see what's in settings, let's see what's in our skill. Let's see what went into our environment. Okay, now the connect instance, the claim phone number is false. I'm going to make these true. Let's see if the skill specified that they should be false. Notice it's reading the variables now, right? This is false. This is false. Okay, so let's see what happens when I just make this true, because I think what'll happen is it'll use this value. And then once the phone number is created, we want the phone number attached to a flow. So what we're going to probably have to do is try to run this and see what's not created. Or let's do this. In the instance, what I want to do, is there any flow? Why is this red? Okay, so let's do this. Let me see if something happens there because I didn't like that red. So it should be able to see what's wrong with that thing and fix it. Because at the moment, it wasn't that obvious to me, but I don't like seeing red. Okay, so now I know this is long and drawn out, but this is what I've been doing. I can see several issues. Let's just see. It's telling me I got some issues. You know, I noticed that it should have fixed it properly the first time, but this is the way it goes. It might have to look as the project's accumulating. It looks at what it's done and it tries to fix it. In this case here, it's ending the queue. Now there's something I want to make sure that's pretty important. Now my phone number that gets called in, it needs to be attached to a flow, an initial flow. Now I didn't define that flow, but notice. Okay, so let's just say. So is our, let's say, will our phone number be attached to a particular flow? If not, how do I make this happen in my skill? Okay, so what did it tell me? Will our phone number be attached to a particular flow? The answer is no. Step 8 only claims the number, reserves it for your account. Attaching it to the contact flow is a separate API call. But until that's done, inbound calls go nowhere. To fix this requires 2 additions to the skill. Capture phone number and claim number response. Add an association step. Okay. Update my skill to do this. I'm going to say both these. Now, okay, so now will my phone number be attached to a contact flow? I'm going to say yes. Um, so here's the thing that here's the thing I just want to point out. So if I'm here and let's create an instance here, just for the hell. Let's not do this. But the point is, when there's an instance, then there's default flows that you attach a number to. Let's let Claude do that for us, because I want my skill to do it. So when the call comes in, it goes into a contact flow. The contact flow should go to a queue. The agent's profiles should be listening on the queue. So I'm going to just say yes for now. And sometimes you got to run the skill and maybe clear up your resources to make sure that you're making some progress. I'm gonna go all out here and try to define what I want and see if Claude could do it all. Okay, so there's a couple of things I'm thinking about. One is insert new step in an inbound contact flow for the phone number finding step. Okay. Like I said, I wanted to use some sort of out of the box default flow. So there's certain routing profiles, like there's a basic routing profile. There could be a flow which goes to the basic queue. The agents, the live agents, could be listening on a queue where they have the proper security profile and they have the proper profile. Let's just try to get this done interactively here, because as you can see, what I'm trying to do is explain to Claude what to do to create this minimal instance that works with two live agents. Okay, let's just see what it's doing. Now let's go a little bit further. What queues are my live agents associated with? Setup your skill creates both agents share the basic routing profile, which has a single queue basic queue. Want me to add the diagnostic step to the skill that prints this information after creating? Yes. And ensure environment profile is updated. You know, like if I had a notebook, a Python notebook, and I just wanted to create a Connect instance, or I had a Terraform script or CloudFormation script, that's what would be happening. But since I have my credentials on my Mac, it's good to know that this might work if I create this skill. And so what I'm doing is making sure everything's in place so that it happens. Okay, so okay, now let's take a look at okay, I'm gonna say it's okay, done for changes, queue basic queue, routing profile, name, connect instance, 10 snapshots included in both names. Snapshot, include both names in queue. I don't know why it's referencing this. Okay, so this is add the ENV. Okay, so now the next question is, are my security profiles set for my agents? Yes. Okay, good. One gap though, security profile D is the only local shell variable in this. Let me say all generated output of variables to.env. To.env. I'm going to just say whether they are used or just generated. Okay, so now let's see. Let me just think to see whether we're missing anything. So we got the connect instance, we have the phone number, we have the contact flow, we have the agents listing queue, we have the security profile. Okay, what we don't have is how to test this. So we'll do this in a couple of steps. So the first video, what we'll do is generate it. I'm hoping it's going to use the default hours of operation. And sometimes it's just yes, this is death. You don't have time to read everything. But when you run it, you'll see if there's a problem. So there's new variables. Okay. Okay, so it looks like we got a bunch of stuff here now. Um, this is why I created a separate folder for my now why did this region change here? Oh yeah, I'm using a different region. Let's do this. How did this change? I don't know how this changed. We said we're going to use this region because in production we're using this region. So I don't know. I don't know why this happened. Let's change this again. Oh, I think this might have happened because my default profile might be using this region. Let's go check that real quick. This is my default is the West. My production doesn't even specify, but it doesn't matter because my script is going to define what region. So I don't know what happened here. Let's just forget about that for the moment. Let's call it West. And let me just try one more thing. I'm going to go back to this and say fix all. I was tempted to say check all and fix, but it's going to double check and it's going to fix if there's anything it seems wrong. So I like the Claude to keep getting a chance to like modify and update. So we'll see what happens here. You know, there is two category issues. What did it say? Okay, so let's go back over here. I want to take a look at what this told me up here, two categories of issues. The flow name and the profile name under other, but are skill outputs, not belonging to the output section. Also, order resolve as time zone is in this, but the skill ignores it entirely. In both steps option blocks. It's fixing all of these now. Okay, so let's just assume that we have what we need. Okay, the skill eventually gets large, as you can see. Also, the environment, the variables are growing, but I want to make sure that I minimize what I have to change when I'm in here. So okay, so I think I just want to say one more thing. I think I'm just gonna say update check if skill needs updating and update. So it's looks like it's looking at the environment file, which is what I wanted it to do, and basically what it's doing, I want it to make sure that if anything's in the environment available file, that it's either being used or it's being generated and set. So now it said hours of operation. Okay, I'm okay with this. I don't know exactly what it's doing, but my guess is going to look at the time zone and define the time zone or whatever it's doing. But to me, yeah, we have to check all this out. So and right now it's looking at my account ID. So let's see if it populated. It didn't populate my account ID, but I think it's instructed it to do it. Okay, so now, so I'm going to say are we ready to create our AWS Connect instance? I don't know why I said that, but I just wanted to see. It's checking my identity to see whether I have the credentials. This is required to instance alias. So let me think about this. I have the credentials to get in, and I have the ability to create an instance. Now, I think this is okay, because what this might do is want to send an email to the technical support and a customer support with the intention of giving them the URL that they could log in. So now, I don't know. Excuse me. I think it needs a temp password. So let's just run it, and if we need to update this, we'll update this. You ready to run this? I'm gonna say yes. Oh, it wants this stuff. Okay, so let's give it to them. Let's give it to them. So the connect alias, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna just call it home task instance. Home task instance. Now this, let me see if this complains again. What was it complaining about? CS email, TS email, temp password. Alright, well let's go into temp password. Is that here? I'm going to call this home task 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see if this happens again. This email, let me do this just temporarily and see what's being generated here. At gmail.com. UONINCONTRI. Just to populate that and see what's going on here. And so let's do it. Let's do it and see what happens. Run skill. Notice it's simple because I only have one skill, so it's not confused. But I gotta be careful with that because as this grows, it gets more complicated. So let's see what happens here. If I generate the instance, I'm not even going to check it. I'm going to check it a little bit, but if it has to be fixed, we're going to do that in the next video. Okay, so now what? Okay, so run skill. I think it wanted me to change my password. Okay, fix it. It's kind of weird working like this because, but you'll see after I create this how powerful this is, because I don't have to create CloudFormation or anything like that. I'm just making sure that using but I am using my laptop, which typically isn't allowed in environments. So, and I am using my Amazon account. So let's say run skill here. See if this works. Thinking, puzzling, unraveling. Now I'm having trouble keeping track of what's going on, but I'm just telling it to. It's asking to do certain things, and I'm gonna do it. Yes. What I'm gonna do is go back in the skill and tell it to run these things with Python. Don't use the command line because I have to. It's just better if I see it execute some code than look at this command line. But it's no big deal. Oh, what did that just do? Did it create a different instance name? Let me just finish this because it gets confusing. Um, uh, yeah, so that's another thing. It's hard to follow along, but once you get it running, it now this is updating the instance name, the account ID, and everything else in the environment file. So this looks good. Now it's wants to do more work. Like I said, you got to be careful with this stuff. I mean, I'm in a default Amazon account. The only thing I use that account for at this moment is my React application because everything else I generated there I had to remove because it's just a waste of money and time. So I keep things clean there. Instance is active. Results. Create hours of operation. Notice it did the right things there. It was defining the time zone, the hours of operation, everything else like that. Now, I don't really care too much for this, that it's doing this command line stuff and doing things for me, but it's better than me having to look. Okay, the basic queue is already there. I think we got an error because it was trying to create the queue. Let's not worry about that right now. But notice, you can't let all these comments skip without really understanding them. Connect instance basic routing profile, basic routing. I'm just gonna yes this. Notice that's creating all these ARNs and everything else like that. So now it's creating the contact flow. Let's see what it's doing here because this is something that's a little challenging, I think, because I didn't tell it what contact flow to use. Let me just yes this to death. And I'll see invalid contact flow exception. Contact instance queue. Yeah, like I said, it's hard to tell what's going on, but when I look at the instance and the attributes, I could tell, there should be two live agents. They should be listening on the basic queue. The basic queue has a basic profile. Basic profile should there should be a security profile, and then phone number calls in. What is this doing? The phone number calls in and calls into a contact flow, and it should transfer the call to a queue, the basic queue. So that's the main. Okay, list built-in flows. Okay, so describe the inbound flow.
Let me just yes this, see what happens. There's a sample inbound flow that comes with Amazon Connect. As long as I don't care if it uses it, the call will go to the sample inbound flow, but it has to transfer to the basic queue, and I think it does. So let's just wait to see what happens here. Sorry this is taking so long. Output too large, fill output saved to this. That's okay, I was just trying to show me something. It should know the flow format is complex, so I'm just gonna yes this, said. I think it's trying to show me something, but I don't really want to see it. Security profile. At this point, I don't know if I need to be running these things because I really just want to use the contact center, right? So hopefully I could close in on this. I could close this out soon because both agents are created. Good job. Okay, so now available phone numbers. There's 5 numbers, pick one. I'm just going to say yes, pick the first one. I mean, phone numbers are phone numbers. I mean, if there's an 800 number there, I probably want it, but it doesn't matter for this demo. Target, claim phone number. There was a numbers. Okay, it's looking better. Like I said, and if this works at all, I'd be very surprised. I'm very impressed with Claude being able to do this because manually I could be at this for quite some time, but at least I know I could test it and it works. I call in the phone number and it works. I log in as a live agent and I receive the phone call. You know, we're not going to do that right now, but verifying the agent queue associations. So it says all IDs are written. Why is it writing to this connect instance? It's probably good practice that I use a connect instance environment here, but the thing that I think the thing that's troubling me about this is I'm running these command lines. So my skill is running them, but I want to preserve what I'm doing because I need to know what I did. So that's the thing that is troubling me a little bit. So if this was in Python code, at least I would see those things in the code in the future. So let's see what happened. Skill fixes supply. So what happened? I'm a little bit confused about what I did. I'm in this is the integrations. This is where I'm going to connect agent core to my instance. There's no instances here.
and there's no instances here. So it's plus 2. Okay, now what? Now I was running the skill, so I didn't see it work. So now it wants to use a different instance alias. Let me try to find out what. Oh, here's my instance. So notice it took a while to come up. That was pretty disturbing. So we did run the skill, and it didn't want to write this instance. It was asking me for a different alias. So let's see what we have here. Here's the access URL. This is where the agents log in. Now here's the URL I go for the login here. But now what I want to do is just make sure my data storage these are not enabled. So let me see if I edit this. Okay, I think what I want to do is I want to enable data storage, and I want to enable flow logs. These two have to be enabled because the calls are going to come in and get recorded and wind up in an S3 bucket. This is going to get the transcripts and put it in an S3 bucket. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so I think what we established was that we do have an instance. Okay, now the question is, yeah, I'm going to go into this instance. I want to see what else was created. So remember, I created 2 live agents. So let's go to users and see if my 2 live agents are there. I do have my 2 live agents. So now if you look at the customer service agent, he's in a basic routing profile. He is we don't have the voice enabled, channel enabled. So that's a problem. We don't have the chat enabled, so that's a problem. Now let's go do this, and let's look at the routing profiles. There's a basic routing profile. Now notice this is the default one, and this is the one that I created. No, this is the one. It went into the default. I don't know. I guess I should. The voice channel here is enabled. Let's go back to just see what routing profile where our agents are in. So our agent was in the basic routing profile, not the basic routing profile with spaces that went to this profile. I mean that's okay, but I didn't mean to replicate anything here. So let's go back and check one more thing. Phone numbers. Here's our phone number. If we go into our phone number, it's attached to a sample inbound flow. So the call goes into this flow. Now, if you look at this flow, if you look at flows, there is a lot of flows here. So let's just look for inbound. Sample inbound flow. It's published. Notice it's published, which is good. Let me just see what this thing looks like. Because if this doesn't transfer the call to the basic queue, it's not doing what I want it to do. Transfer to flow, transfer to flow, transfer to flow. No, it didn't transfer it to a queue. So this is not really what we wanted. It did transfer to a flow. What does this flow do? If I look at this flow, sample note first screen pop. Yeah, so basically, let's see what this says. It's gonna tell the user, hello, thanks for calling. These are some examples of what Amazon Connect Virtual Contact Center can enable for you. Yeah, and you know, you could press these different numbers and get the different flows. We want to go to a customer service agent or a technical support agent, so we'll look at two of these and send them there. But that's the default flow that I was using, a sample inbound flow. Now, if you look at flows, if you could find something that's more appropriate, so default agent transfer, default queue transfer. So if you look at this one, we might want to tell our skill to check before transferring to a queue. So it really would be telling them we're gonna transfer to the basic queue, checking staff. We're staffed. I should be checking a queue by queue. That would be notice we're checking hours of operation. Yeah, we really need to use this one here.
because we are currently closed will play. We're now transferring to the queue would play, and the agent will be able to pick up the call. So this is the default queue transfer we want. So I'm going to update my skill with that. And so really, as you could see, we do have the instance. And we are we do have the instance, and I'm trying to figure out how to get back to this. We do have the instance, the phone number, and everything else we got to change. We got to make sure the skill goes to the proper landing flow. So that's important, and I think I'm just going to transfer. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show you in this video. What we'll do is move forward to make this really concrete so that we could use this skill and it would it takes these arguments in the environment and it has I was just thinking what we want to do. Of course, we want to point to the region. We want to point to the account. Now, the thing is, my skill is far from perfect. Okay, so I said to read the instance. It created the instance and it wrote the instance. So the instance ID is here. So no, but now my instance is set and I have an instance hard-coded in here. So if I create another instance, I would need a different alias, and it would possibly create this instance ID and URL again, because this is the instance alias. So anyway, it's not perfect, but at least it reproduces some of my commands. Now I want to check a couple of things. First of all, I had these emails set, and the other thing I didn't show you, yeah, so what was the password? The password was this. And let's check the emails to see if I got the user ID. So and I didn't. I don't have my, so I don't know. Let's go back to the instance, because what I want to show you is this. And this is the agent performance dashboard. This is not what I want. This is Amazon Connect Home. I am in the Amazon Connect administration console. What I want to do is get out of this. So here is where I want to be. Now the thing is, what I wanted to do was show you this. This is the access URL. And I am logged in as this guy. I'm going to sign out. Now, here's the username. So, so the truth is, let's suppose I go to my users, because I don't recall setting a username for the agent. So here's my users. Here's my login ID. Agent, customer, agent agent.customer-service, agent.tech-support. Okay, and this was my password. Okay, so if I wanted to log in as one of these guys, I would say agent dot customer-service, and here's my password. Now it's welcome me by identification. This has to say my name. So this is not really a good news. So I'm going to have to make my skill define that. So why did this happen? Why is it showing my agent ID? Okay, we're not going to worry about this. We're already there. I just want to show you allow. And let's see where I am. I am offline. This has to say welcome customer service person. And I am in the I'm available. I'm going to make myself available as an agent. Camera is not accessible. I'm using my camera, so that's kind of normal. Now, what else works over here? There's quick connects here that I could connect to different people. Okay, so we don't really want to show all this stuff. Okay, this is the reason why I'm doing this. There is a lot of configuration here, and what I want to do is I want Claude to automate it and create me an Amazon Connect instance. Okay, that's all I wanted to show. So stay tuned for our next video, which is going to clean this up a little bit, configure something, do it. I'm going to make a phone call and do a demo and answer by agent. I don't know if I could do that with my mic, but maybe we'll see what we can do. Okay, that's all I wanted to show for this. This was a Amazon Connect instance skill that we created here, and thanks for watching.